Zara is officially a month old, so here I am recording, finally. It's been a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but finally recording her birth story. So May 18th was a Friday, and Jonah we had a rehearsal dinner. He was the best man in a wedding, and we had a rehearsal dinner to go to that night. So we went there. It was like an hour away from home. We went there, and then we came home and didn't really think much about anything. I had a few Braxton Hicks, but I didn't really, I've had Braxton Hicks the whole time. And they never really bothered me or anything like that. So I woke up on Saturday, which was the day of the wedding, and I had told Jonah that I had a few more questionable Braxton Hicks. I wasn't quite sure if it was a contraction or a Braxton Hicks, but it felt like a little bit more than my typical Braxton Hicks. Jonah had to be at the venue pretty early, and I had just decided that me and Naira were going to go with him because we were going to be an hour away, and if I were to go in labor at any point in that day, I really wanted to be all together and didn't want to have to drive to the hospital separately. So we decided to go with him, and for the day, me and Naira just spent the day together. We went shopping, we got lunch, we went to a farmer's market. It was just a really special day that I got to spend with her. Me and Naira are going to a little farmer's market together. So Monday I had some cramping. It is currently Saturday, so Monday I had some cramping, and then today I've been having, and all night I had a few contractions and some Braxton Hicks that I thought were kind of like keeping me up at night. So we decided to come with Jonah to the wedding. He is the best man at a wedding today. But we are downtown, this little area, because it's kind of like an hour away from our home. So I decided I wanted to be with Jonah. And we're coming to this little farmer's market to look around. Now we're just getting ready for the wedding in the car. The wedding is like an hour and a half. So just put some water in her hair to bring the curls back. The humidity, I'm sure, will do that itself. But anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna put on this little dress.
Nana.
Yeah, that is Nana. Hi.
Hi. Good. Open.
Yep.
Open. Shut.
Miss Nye didn't take a nap today, so, but it means she'll be passed out tonight, so that's good. But she will be exhausted. Later on, I started feeling a little bit more crampy. I honestly wasn't focused too much on myself. I was chasing Naira around. She was like playing on steps, so I was going up and down all these steps, and I was chasing her around this yard, and yeah, I was just all over the place, and I really wasn't thinking about myself or how I was feeling. I was just literally fully focused on her. We were on our way home. It was like 8:15ish, and I had a few contractions, and I really tried to time them. At this point, it was like 8:30, and they were consistently 5 minutes apart. So I told Jonah, I was like, yeah, they're 5 minutes apart, but they do not feel like intense like I was expecting to feel at that point. So I was like, there's no way like it's happening anytime soon. Like, I'm just gonna go home and get some rest and stuff like that. So we got home, and by the time we got home, because the venue was an hour away, by the time we got home and I took a bath with Naira, took a bath with her, and then we all kind of like got ready for bed, and just like Jonah was like, just try and get some sleep. So it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at this point. I laid down and Jonah got Naira to sleep, he put her on his chest, and I was holding his hand and holding Naira's hand, and he was singing blessings over us, which was a total God thing because he really wanted that song to be played when we were giving birth, because Naira's song was, while I was giving birth, was A Million Little Miracles. So that's the one that he wanted, which we both like totally agreed on. It would have been a really special song to give birth to. But Jonah was singing that, and they both fell asleep, and I couldn't fall asleep, so I got up and just walked around the living room and was texting my friend and my mom and just telling them, like updating them what was going on. And I just really felt like I was not in labor, like at all. It didn't feel as intense as I thought it was going to feel. I was comparing all my contractions to my labor with Naira, and I was induced with Naira. So I was comparing my contractions to Pitocin contractions, and I was at a 5 before I got an epidural with her. And I was crying and completely lost control. So I was comparing my contractions to that, and it was nowhere near the same pain that I was feeling at that point. So I really thought I was like at a 2 or a 3. And I was like, yeah, we'll just, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I just kept just hanging out. I curled up and tried to fall asleep on the couch and just kept my mom updated because she was gonna be helping us with Naira. So I finally started timing my contractions on my phone, and my app kept telling me to go to the hospital. It is Saturday, the 18th, the day before my due date, and it's like 11:30. We just got home from a wedding, and I have been having contractions like 4 to 5 minutes apart. I started having them today, and then they've gotten more consistent now. So I'm just kind of debating when I should call, when I should wake Jonah up, and when it's go time. And I just kept telling my mom, like, there's no way, like, I'm actually in active labor. Like, I just do not feel like they're as strong. I just feel like if I went to the hospital, they would be sending me home. But at that point, they were like 3 to 4 minutes apart. I just kept walking around, laying on the couch, and I kept having to pee, which I know in labor, it's like really important to like empty your bladder. So I kept going to the bathroom and peeing and trying to keep my bladder empty. I wanted Jonah to get as much sleep as he possibly could. And so I finally woke him up at 12 just to tell him what was going on. And I was like, I don't know if, like, the app's telling me we need to go to the hospital. I don't know if we should call and ask. I don't know what to do. I called the midwife, and they told us that it was time to come in. Jonah, what are we doing? About to go have a baby. Whole way there, we were like joking around, like a car flying by, and I was like, oh, they're probably having a baby. And so Jonah started speeding up, and I was like, we're not gonna have a baby anytime soon. So I really thought that they were just gonna send us home. So we got to the hospital, and we went to the parking garage, and we waited for my mom, and I got out of the car and was like holding on to the hood, and I was just like swaying back and forth and stuff. Like, we were in the parking garage. They felt a little bit more intense, like they were getting a little bit stronger. So my mom arrived. She had the hardest time finding the parking garage, and so she finally found us. And then me and Jonah, she sat with Naira in the car because Jonah had picked her up, and she had stayed asleep and transferred perfectly into the car, which never happens. So we were walking in, and Jonah was like, do you want to take the elevator or do you want to take the stairs? And I was like, we should probably take the stairs so that it can help her like get into a better position, so that hopefully by the time I at least get down there, like I'm a little bit further along. So we're walking into the hospital, and it was like 1:30, and we got checked in, and we went to triage. Me like what my pain level was, and I was like, they were like 0 to biting a bear biting your arm off, and I was like probably like a 5. And then I went to the bathroom and peed in the cup and all that stuff. And then I went to the room and got undressed, and they were gonna check me, and they put the monitors on my belly, and then they checked me, and she was like, "You're not going anywhere. You are like a 9." And I was like, well, I really didn't think that I could do it unmedicated, but here we are. We're doing it. And she was like, "You're gonna have to lay on the bed," because they didn't want me to walk to labor and delivery and my water rupture and have a baby like on the floor. They wheeled me to the room that I was gonna be giving birth in, and at that point I had gotten to my labor and delivery gown, and I was just bouncing on the ball. My water hadn't broken or anything yet.
Surgery on somebody.
So I was just laboring on the ball for as long as I could. Jonah was doing counter pressure, and things started to get a lot more intense at this point. I think subconsciously, them telling me that I was a 9 really messed with my mental control, because it was not good. In between contractions, I was like joking around with Jonah and just having so much fun. We were just like, we joke about some of the things that Naira says, and so we were just going back and forth with that. My midwife was feeding me ice chips, and she was just an angel that sat in the corner, that coached me the whole way, but did not pressure me to do anything. She was just there for full support, did not make me do anything or anything like that. At this point, she was like, "Your water should break any second, and when it does, you just let us know." And she was telling me things that were going to happen, just based on how I was reacting and the things that, like the noises that I was making and stuff like that, which was the coolest thing ever. So I had felt a little bit of water after a contraction, and she was like, "Okay, now we need to decide, like, how are you going to give birth? Do you want to get on hands and knees? Do you want to get in the shower?" And I was like, I have no idea. And so she was like, "Just try hands and knees, and if that doesn't feel comfortable, like, we can do something else." So I got on my hands and knees. I had a few contractions there, and then I pretty much started pushing, and she came out at 252, weighing 7 pounds 8 ounces.
Okay. Whenever you would like to get out of bed. Yeah, I know she's here.
She's looking at me.
Check out her daddy.
Baby.
Yeah,
We are still in the hospital and got a little girl here doing some skin to skin, but I just wanted to vlog a little bit. Jonah just left with Naira. He's gonna go home and take a bath, give her a bath and put her in bed. And my mom's gonna come stay with us, with me and Zara. So yeah, but labor and delivery was amazing and so redemptive compared to my last birth with Naira, and yeah, it was just amazing.
What the Johnny no.
Dada's coming to get us so we can go home. We're going home. We're all ready to go home.
That is little Miss Zara's birth story. It was absolutely amazing and beautiful, and I could do that again. The recovery has been amazing. The whole experience, I felt so aware of what was going on. It was just an experience that I'll never forget, and it was amazing. So if But thank you guys so much for being patient. So many people have asked about my birth story, and it was such a redemptive birth story compared to my daughter. And I am just so grateful and so proud of myself that I did it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next vlog because I'm going to try to keep up with this.